How's it going, everybody? It is Dennis, and we're back with another video, and today we're talking once again about QDTE. I know we've been making a lot of videos about QDTE and XDT and just Roundhill ETFs in general. Last week, we just released a video talking about the QDTE and how it's better than yield max ETFs in multiple of ways. And again, today we're talking about QDTE, but today's just going to be a short video going over my own position in QDTE, how it has been performing so far in the past 2 to 3 months. And of course, let's just go over real quick on the dividend that we got for this week, the week of August 23rd, or the payment of August 23rd. We got a dividend of $47.5843, as seen down here, and it's being paid out, of course, the 23rd. So pretty nice, pretty nice. There's actually a YouTuber out there. I'll probably link him in the description. I forgot his name. I think it's Rags to Riches, something like that. I might be butchering it, but he follows QDTE and XDT quite well and quite. I think every week, unless he does an updated video on it. And he said that his estimate was around the 10 cent, 15 cent mark, I'm pretty sure, just based on how much they earned this or last week. So we can see that they definitely paid out a lot more than that. That is because, of course, they earn income on other weeks, on other months, which they hold to the side to pay out in moments like this, or just in general hold of the NAV and not cause too much NAV erosion and give away too much dividends, and just have something on the side just in case for moments like this. Of course, as always, transparent as possible. I am holding roughly 102.82 shares. Market value is $4,401. And I'm down $240.80 or 5.19%. And of course, it's been a rough week or a rough couple days for the QQQs, the underlying, and therefore QDTE. But as you can see, we're spiking back up. We're heading towards the upside once again. Overall, market's performing quite leerily lately, but let's see where it goes. There might be rate cuts coming soon, so that's probably why. But once again, this is the sheet I have for QDTE, tracking all the dividend payments I receive. And of course, it's a little bit off and on, a little bit tacky, but let's go ahead and take a look. As you guys may or may not know, I started investing in QDTE in May, and I just started off with a measly 2 shares. For May, we received a total dividend of $21.21 per share, and received 42 cents in total for that month. Just testing out the waters. The next week, or in June, we received we had another 2 shares, which received us $14.26 per share, and we got 29 cents. And of course, 29 cents was our total payment. The next week we had 4 shares, which got us $23.44, and we got 94 cents per share. And that was the total. And then I started adding on a little bit. So then we added up to 9 shares, which got us $29.75 or $2.69. Then we got another 9 shares worth of dividends, which is $35.48 the next week, and we had $3.22 paid out. And the total for June was $7.13. And the total dividends paid out that month was $1.293. All right, not bad. Not bad. If we look at the growth from month to month, of course, we performed way better than May, because May we only got 1 week worth of payout. We performed 1,581% better than May. And of course, week to week, we did grow, but that is because we also had share growth besides from week 3 to week 4, where we had no share growth besides the reinvestment. And then we move on to July. So July, we started adding a bunch more shares in. We started off with 15 shares. We got $19.72 per share, which paid us $2.99. We had 59 shares. This is where I jumped up to 59 shares, and we got $34.65, which gave us $20.52. We jumped up to $81.6699, which gave us $31.01 per share, and we got $25.33. And then finally, we jumped up to 98.2396 shares, and we got 35 per share, which paid us $34.79. In total for July, we received $83.62 and a total dividend distribution per share of $1.20 or $1.21. We ended the month, of course, with 98.2396 shares, and that gave us a growth compared to June of 1,072.49%. Of course, biased because I did add on shares, so it is a little bit biased. We did have a negative growth from week 4 of June to week 1 of July. And then once we started adding the shares, of course, we had the bias growth of a 586%, 23.42%, and 37.35%. Moving on to August, you might be asking why I have 5 weeks in August. That is because one of the dividends was paid out on August 2nd. So I'm counting that as an August dividend. And of course, the last dividend that's going to be paid out in August will be August 30th or 29th, something around there. But it will still be in August, so therefore I'll be counting it as an August dividend. So technically there's 5 weeks in August, even though there's 4. But just the way it adds up, it looks like there's 5. So 99 shares is the start of August, week 1. We got 56.86. This was the record-breaking dividend that everybody fell in love with from QDTE, which paid us $56.32. And there we had 100 shares because we reinvested, and we had payout of $51.42 or $51.65. We reinvested again. We got 101 shares now, which paid us $47.65 per share, and we got $48.46. And then we had 102.82 shares, which paid us $47.58 or $48.92. Of course, this is this week's payment. So this week I'll be earning $48.92. In total, this earns us $205.35. Of course, August is technically not over yet for the QDTE payments. So we still have one more week of payments. So $205.35 is what we received. And that paid us a total dividend per share of $2.35. So, or 2.0351 per share. And the highest, best performing month so far from QDTE. As you can see, 145.56% growth compared to July. And of course, this is the mostly unbiased because of course we are no longer adding shares, or at the moment we haven't added shares into QDTE. So there's no added shares bias. This is just pure drip method growth, I guess you could say, besides the 15 to 59 and 59 to 81 and then 81 to 98. So I guess if we don't add any more in September, if I don't invest more in September, then we'll have a more accurate growth scale when it comes to the share growth and the dividend growth. On a weekly scale, of course, we grew 61.89% because this was the record-breaking dividend. So from week 4 to week 1 of from week 4 of July to week 1 of August, we had a 61.89% growth. Then we had a negative 8.28%, negative 6.18%, and then a 0.96% growth. Even though we had a lower dividend per share, that drip from the dividends being reinvested back into QDTE did cause us to have a 0.96% growth. So see, even if dividends are lower, but of course it's only like 5 cents, but even if dividends are lower, there's still a chance of growth if you're reinvesting. That compound effect that everybody talks about, weekly compounding. And of course we still have one more week, which I'm assuming is going to be around maybe the 47 mark, maybe 30, or maybe even 50, because since QQQ's down, of course they could play a little bit more, what's the word for it? They could play a little bit more aggressive on the QQQs when it comes to zero DTEs, especially on the down markets. Volatility goes up, therefore premiums go up, and therefore your dividends and earnings go up as well. September, still far away, or not that far away, a week away. So it's going to be interesting to see what we have in September. But in general, you know, the sheet is looking good. The Excel sheet looks looking good. The Google sheet's looking good. We can see that there is consistent growth, and of course I am adding shares, so there's a bias to that. But as we look at just the dividends per share paid out, we can see that there is growth. We have $1.29 or $1.02 or $1.03 in June. We have $1.21 paid out total July, and $2.04 paid out in August. So dividends per share are growing, and of course the value of your shares are staying consistent. If we look at the max chart, it's going to be a little bit off, but we can see that of course there is loss of value. And of course this is because this, you know, the fund, it just can't recover as fast all the time as QQQ. If QQQ shoots up 2-3%, maybe QDTE and their managers don't account for 2-3% growth, and they just don't keep up. But they do experience all of the downside as all the other funds do, like Yieldmax and Defiance. So of course the growth up will be a little bit slower, but in general your value per share has stayed somewhat stable. As we can see, if you invested, it was around $46 at the beginning, and right now it's at $42.70. So you would have lost roughly what was that, $3 on your shares, but you did receive a dividend every single week so far, so you're still in the plus. You're still good. And plus, if you're reinvesting, you're dripping back in and you're buying at these lows, then you're averaging in, you're lowering your average cost, you're doing good. So overall, everything is looking good. Just wanted to give you guys an update on my QDTE position, especially after the big video from last week. just to show you guys how much I'm invested in, how many shares, how it's been performing, how long I've been invested. Of course, not as long as others where they invested on inception date, but it has been 3 to 2 months or going on almost 4. So that is me. That is my, I guess, my little portfolio, or the part of my portfolio. As you can see, it's 7.36% of my portfolio. So not at the 10% mark just yet that I aim for, but we're getting there. So yeah, I'll continue investing. We're going to see what the dividend is next week. And of course, we're going to see that play out on our monthly dividend and option profit overview for every single month. If you guys don't know, I do a monthly checkup on how much I made on options and dividends. And you guys are going to see the total of this. So once we have week 5 payments calculated in, we're going to see how much we have in total from QDTE, from yieldbacks, from all my other funds that I own. Put that in. That's going to be our dividend total. And of course, all the option plays I do, which will also be included as well. And we'll see how much I made for the month of August. And just to give you guys a little bit sneak peek, I also have another fund or strategy I am working on. I'm currently trading it every single day. You see that? Every single day. Might be a 0 DT, might not. We'll see. But I'm doing trades every single day. I'm working on a strategy, seeing how it works out, seeing how it plays. I'm tracking it on the spreadsheet just so I could break it down for you guys on a scale once I come out with the video. But I want to work on it, see how it plays out, how risky it is before I show it to you guys, see if it's even worth to show it. But it's been doing good. It's been doing good. Returns are great. They're small because I'm still using a small amount of my portfolio just to play on it. So returns are small. But if you look at the percentage, they're quite large and they're quite big, especially on a daily scale. So I can't wait to show that to you guys. That's why I'm doing this quick video for this week, because I just want to work on that a little bit more before I show you guys anything large. So for this week, this is the video. This is my fund. This is QDTE. We're going to see how it continues to play out. Next week, we're probably going to go over my total fund because all the dividends are going to be paid out. All the options are going to be played as well. So we're going to do a video on that next week. And of course, the week after, if I decide that it's time to show you guys the strategy I've been playing, then I'll show you. If not, then you guys are going to have to wait a little bit. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Thanks to everybody. If you're coming from the last video, thank you for watching the last video. Thanks for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Of course, we reached 1,000 and more subscribers. We're getting a bunch of likes and views on the last QDTE versus yieldbacks video. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. We're getting lots of good comments in the comment section. And as always, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for the support. And I'll see you guys in the next week in the next video where we're going to be going over my overall portfolio and how much we earned for the month of August. See you guys. Peace.